directions are a little bit different than this one, but you've got your cup of honey, your tablespoon of echinacea root, a tablespoon of spillanthus, and a teaspoon of peppermint leaf, and you mix it and boil it in water and whatever, and come up with a sore throat honey, something for the sore throat. So there were several recipes in here, which I thought were quite interesting to help with, like natural ways to heal yourself. Now, in case you guys are thinking, oh, that's too woo-woo for me, what do you think people did to heal themselves before we had Walgreens and CVS and all of that? People used natural remedies to do that. And some of the natural remedies are pretty darn good. And like I said, this particular tea here, elderberry and lemon balm. So,
we have so much on our grocery shelves, to be honest with you, as far as teas are concerned or drinks are concerned. Now we can actually go to the health food section of the store and find things. I mean, like kombucha, those kind of things are supposed to be so easy for the system to break down. So you can continue to have nourishment while your body's trying to fight off whatever it is that you may have.
Have you tried kombucha?
I
have not tried it. Now, Mary talks about it all the time, but I've not tried it.
I'm not a fan of the flavor.
So Sierra said her grandmother got the flu strain A, and she said it was worse than COVID. She even said she felt like she was experiencing some delirious episodes. The temperature can go so high with the flu that you can have some delirium episodes with that.
That's true.
Rachel says strain A of the flu and RSV is going around the DC area, and norovirus as well. She's a nurse and works in pediatrics. So so Rachel, thank you for sharing that with us. So are you getting a lot of kids in with the norovirus and the flu? And what are you guys doing for them there? I would be interested to know that as well.
Well, in Kentucky, they had to shut down several of the school systems because of the flu and the norovirus. And they had to actually go into schools and handle the schools just like they did for COVID, where they had to go in and just sanitize everything before they could allow the children to come back in. And that was maybe a week ago.
Well, we had a school shut down here too for a week, just one, but they had 130 kids out.
Wow.
130 kids plus teachers were out. They just shut the school for a week.
So and family.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, why don't we talk about that sanitizing? Since somebody brought up Lysol earlier, this is probably a good time to talk about it. So we were talking, one of the things we wanted to address is whether or not you are prepared. So to prepare your home, one of the things that I like to use, I like the smell of Clorox when I'm trying to get things absolutely positive, and I'm out of my Clorox cleanup, the little spray bottle that I use in the kitchen, because my husband has been doing a lot of fish in the sink. And so when he does that, I get that out. And then when I did that turkey, I had that raw turkey. So I used a lot of that then. But I like using these Clorox disinfecting wipes. And I like to use my Clorox spray. Now, these aren't things you can wipe on your kitchen table or something like that. If you've got a wooden table, it might affect it. But one of the important places to make sure you wipe down, maybe even a couple times a day, is your doorknobs. Because if they've been out all day and they come in, they bring those germs in with them, just kind of take this and just wipe the doorknob a little bit. The other thing is the toilet bowl handle. The toilet handle, because the handle is probably the dirtiest part. The seat you sit on is the cleanest part, but the handle is actually dirtier than maybe even inside the bowl, because when the person goes to the bathroom, they usually flush before they wash their hands. So if they've touched themselves in any way while they were cleaning themselves, now they've transferred those germs to the handle of the toilet bowl, of the toilet. So make sure that you are wiping down the toilet handle, but also the handles in your bathroom. Because again, once you get your clothes adjusted, you're going to wash your hands. You got to turn the sink on.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That is so true. And it's funny you said that because the grands were here this weekend. One of them had a cold, of which I think I may be catching, but I hope not. But it's just that I was following them around and constantly saying, wash your hands, because, they just don't think about it.
Mm-mm.
And it's a good practice to teach our children as well when they're coming in from school. Immediately they can drop their book bag, drop their coat, and go straight to the bathroom and wash their
Wash
hands.
their hands.
And that was something I had gotten into a habit, even myself as a science teacher, was making sure when one group left, wash the hands and make sure the hands were clean. So it's very important that we wash our hands and sanitize. I see you got the sanitizer. And
Yes.
yep, that's a good thing to have.
So the other thing you want to do is have your sanitizer available. So remember last week I was doing a live stream, and right in the middle of the live stream, my water got cut off. So it turned out there was a water main break, but we didn't have any water for about 4 hours. And so, you can use your hand sanitizer when you need to. So that's something you can have, particularly if your littles are sick, they're close to the bedside, they're in the kitchen. You can have them use hand sanitizer. Now, not too much because there is alcohol in most of it, but you can have them use hand sanitizer and then dry their hands off with paper towels. Not bathroom towels right now while flu and all that kind of stuff is going on.
Exactly.
Oh, and then Sierra, we do want to give you our prayers for your grandmother who was ill with the flu. Sounds pretty
Oh
bad.
no.
Some virus went around at work and they were sick there. She's still coughing 3 weeks later. Okay. So need to be like soup. Soups are her go-to to warm all from the inside out. And she will keep green tea and spiced tea on hand. I like the spiced apple cider teas too. They're very cozy.
Have you tried the trying to think of the name of the company, but it's the hot cinnamon tea bags that you can get. Harney and Son.
Harney and Sons.
Yes. Oh my goodness. When you have a cold, their hot cinnamon tea is exactly what you need. It opens up your head. It's good for your throat. And that's something I do keep on the shelf all the time. It's that Harney and Son.
I have to write that down. Maybe I can get some. Because the thing is, I want to have these things in the house before I need them.
Exactly.
Yeah, you want to have these things in the house on your prep shelf before you need them, so that when someone is ill, then you have the things that you need. And yeah, I do have my honey. You want to have your honey, keep your honey around, because you can have that to put in your tea or to make that sore throat combination that we talked about earlier. And let's see. Roberta says she likes the home style chicken noodle soup because it tastes great. I like the home style, the Campbell's home style. I love it, love it, love it. But like I said, we've had so much of the kind of flu and respiratory illnesses lately that we've just used it all up, and I just need to replace those items on my prep shelf. And when I've been out shopping, those aren't the things that I've been looking for. But when I got ready to look for things today, I'm like, oh, I don't have those things. Other things you want to make sure you have, and you could find a shortage of, are those cold preps that you normally buy in the grocery store. Now, I like Theraflu. It knocks out whatever I've got. I really like it. Now, the one I prefer best is the one that comes like this. You get the little tablets and you drop them in water and you sip on it like a tea. This is the one that I like best.
What's the name of that?
This is Theraflu
Is
sinus.
that their flu also? Now, can you
Mm-hmm.
take that with high blood pressure?
Well, let's see. This is the apple cinnamon flavor. Warning: liver allergy, sore throat. Do not use if I can't read it. They're too
Okay.
small. Hey, honey, do you have that magnifying thing to read things with? Yeah. Could you bring me one? I can't read it, so we'll see if I can get that. But that's
Because
something
that's,
to think about.
yeah, that's something to have to be careful about because there's several really good cold medications that are out there. But until you read the fine print, you find out that it raises the blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people
Thank
don't,
you.
already have problems with their blood pressure. So that's something they don't need.
Okay, let's see. I can't read much better with this. If you're taking a prescription monoamine oxidase inhibitor, certain drugs for depression, um,
Hmm.
psychiatric drugs, emotional conditions, Parkinson's disease, don't take that. But ask your doctor if you have high blood pressure. So it says
Ah.
ask a doctor before you use it.
Mm-hmm.
This thing kind of distorted stuff. It was made it bigger, but it wasn't like clear bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But this is what I take. I like both of these.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just put this out there too. So if you guys have medication in your bathroom, please don't remove the labels off the bottles. And if let's say you take baby aspirin and you get a different brand of baby aspirin, and so they look different, like one pill is a little orangey and one pill is yellow. Don't mix the pills in the bottle, because once you do that, if someone else comes and they look in that bottle, they don't know what that is and they can't take that medication. I found a bottle up in my medicine cabinet and it was in this box. It was a bottle of something kind of reddish, and I thought, well, what the heck is this? So I'll have to ask him later on, like, what is this? Is this some kind of cold medicine? But the
Mm-hmm.
label was off.
Okay.
So I thought, okay, if you have meds that aren't labeled, you just have to discard them.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to discard them, because you just never know what people might get into. But we were talking about cleaning up with things. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I brought out my Mrs. Meyer's lilac just because sometimes you want an all-purpose cleaner that just has a nice scent, but
Mm-hmm.
it removes dirt and it freshes and deodorizes and that kind of thing. But if you're looking for something that's like 99% going to remove your bacteria and that kind of thing, you're probably going to want to go with something like your Clorox, your
Mm-hmm.
Lysol,
Mm-hmm.
those kinds of cleaners.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I have those all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
Yeah, I have a big bottle of Lysol in the other room, but I need
Mm-hmm.
to put it in a spray bottle so that I can
Mm-hmm.
spray it out. So, okay. So other sick room essentials, make sure you've got a thermometer available, because you want to check to see whether or not anybody's running a fever. You
Mm-hmm.
want to keep an eye on that. And then, of course, tissues, and more tissues. You want to have facial tissues, because people are going to be blowing their nose quite a bit. So you want to make sure you have those. And we already talked about the hand sanitizers and the disinfectant wipes. And then other over-the-counter things. And you already mentioned the saline sprays for the nose.
Mm-hmm. The saline spray. And I'm a fan of a neti pot.
I've
I
heard those. I've not used those, but I've been thinking
Mhm.
about it.
I am a fan. It works. It really does work. It really helps to clean your system out.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some people are probably thinking, ooh, that's nasty. But the reality of it is that when you're stopped up really bad, that is exactly what you want to get it out. And,
Mm-hmm.
a couple of days of that, most of the time, the colds are pretty much gone. And
Mm-hmm.
that's nice to have. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then, of course, you want to make sure you've got some nice, cozy blankets, cozy
Mhm.
socks, and that kind of thing. Now, I don't like those tissues with lotion in them because I can smell the tissue. I just don't like
Mhm.
it. But they do make the tissue softer so
They
that
do.
you can. Oh, a pulse oximeter. Sorry, I forgot that. A pulse oximeter is crucial for checking oxygen levels. That's a good idea too,
Mm.
particularly if you've got some with a history of asthma. They start
Mhm.
getting short of breath. So a pulse oximeter can let you know where their oxygen levels are. And if you think, oh, this looks kind of weird, you can call 911 and then have some further evaluation done.
That's true. And you may have more than one type of thermometer. Besides the regular thermometer that you put under
Mm-hmm.
your tongue, you may want to have the strip that you can put on your head,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you have, children or even
Yes.
adults,
Yes.
elderly adults that you just want to get a good, it may not be as accurate as
Mm-hmm.
the other, but it's nice to have, and we'll let you know very quickly as to whether or not they're running a temperature.
Absolutely. And trash bags for easy cleanup. So one of
Mhm.
the things that my daughter does at her house, whenever anybody's got a cold, she'll bring those little grocery bags you get,
Mhm.
and she puts those by their bedside so that as they're blowing their noses and all these tissue is getting all yucky, they can just put it right into the trash bag and can
Mhm.
just kind of help keep the germs down. Other things you might consider having too are additional masks,
Mhm.
the little
Mhm.
surgical masks, as well
Oh, yeah.
as gloves.
Yes, definitely gloves.
Yeah, and now why would you want to wear the mask in the house? Because the air is circulating all through the house, but it just might help to reduce your exposure to
Mhm.
whatever it is that person has. If you can isolate them in one room, that's a good idea. If you've
Mhm.
got, let's say, two kids sleeping in the same room, if you could put one kid somewhere else, that would be best. But that's not always practical, and you have to do what's
True.
practical for your family.
Mhm. That's true. We have a family right now at our church, and there's 5 children in the family. So not only are the 5 children sick with flu and a virus, but
Ooh.
also the mom and dad. So literally, it's like a COVID house, at this point, and they've been very, very sick. So
Mhm.
the mom was saying, we've only talked to her by phone, but the mom was saying that they're all walking around with masks on because they're not really sure who brought the bug in. But of course, everybody's going to school and everybody's going to work, so
Mhm.
it was hard to know. So you just have to be careful. You have to be careful because you
Yeah,
just don't know.
yeah, you really do. So, what's one must-have item that you need to have in your sick room? Tell me that, and you tell us in the chat. What is one must-have item that you need to have in your sick room?
Hmm. I got to think about that.
So, for the neti pots, you should use distilled water and not
Hmm.
tap water. I didn't know that. Okay.
Hmm. Distilled water and salt. That's it.
Oh,
And
okay.
salt, because that makes a light saline solution, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what you're running through your system, through your nasal passage.
Okay. So what if you think about natural remedies, we mentioned elderberry syrup and you can
Mhm,
buy that or you can make that on your own. And
mhm,
like I said, in this book by Kadia at Her Healthy Home, she's got a recipe in here where you can make elderberry syrup. You guys, if you haven't seen those posts, check those out on my community tab
mhm,
because those are just simple little things that you can make at home. But you can
mhm,
make elderberry syrup, then also eucalyptus essential oil for congestion release. I like
mhm,
eucalyptus in the shower. Someone gave me some bath bombs or shower
mhm,
bombs that have the
mhm,
eucalyptus in it. Drop them in the water. Then as the shower's coming down and you just inhale all of that and just really helps to
mhm,
clear up those nasal passages and helps to open up your chest. So I do like eucalyptus and eucalyptus uh, drops, cough drops, and things
mhm,
like that.
mhm. I guess cough drops would be one of those things that I almost always, when fall comes, I start
Mm-hmm.
picking up the cough drops, the Listerine, and of course the cleaning products.
Yes. Let's see what we got. Let's see. I already mentioned that. I think it just popped in again. Yeah, I got those. Okay. Let's see what people are saying then. Broth is good and homemade broth is best versus a can. And yeah, I got
Mhm,
some homemade broth right here
mhm,
where I made some with turkey.
mhm.
And Sandra says you can also have tea and hot lemonade. I forgot about hot
Mhm.
lemonade. It's
Yeah,
wonderful when you're sick. Let's see what else. Somebody's talking to Blue Skies, talking about some brand of soup. So Nita says that she makes her own broth, but she also keeps store-bought broth and bouillon on hand. And I think that's a
mhm.
good idea
That's
because
true.
you can just take those little bouillon cubes, drop them in water, and offer that to someone if you need to. So definitely, that's a good idea to have both on hand.
Mhm.
Uh, oh, so Roberta says she has the two brands that I was showing, the elderberry tea, and it was these two brands of tea, probably the herbal
Mhm,
cold care, and then
mhm.
the throat coat, as well as the elderberry immune. So these are great teas to have on hand. They help boost your immune
Absolutely.
system. Let's see. If you're just joining us, I'm Denise Jordan, your host, and with me is Leona Dooley from Ebony, Ivy, and Time in the Kitchen with Leona Dooley. And we are here every week. Next week, we'll be with Miss Leona over on her channel, and she'll bring to you some great homemaking and home cook tips. And today, we're here over on my channel, and we're in our February homemaking series. So
Mhm.
thank you guys for joining us. And so we're talking about things that you need to do to prep your home to get ready for cold and flu season. Oh, and the other thing I almost forgot. This video was brought to you by my apron business, Apron Diva. Pretty and practical. We believe an apron can be a homemaker's best accessory. So check us out at www.aprondiva.com. Okay, so now the things that I want you to think about, like if you don't have any illness in your home right now, what I want you to think about is what do you need to do to prepare your home for when, not if. Because
Mhm,
cold and flu season is going to attack everyone in some form. So
mhm.
we talked about some of the things that you want to make sure that you have on hand. And those includes your medical supplies like face masks, gloves, tissue, and over-the-counter medications, the ones that you prefer. And make sure you have the over-the-counter medications for children, for cold and flu, as well as for adults, because children are not just little adults. They have different body sizes and systems,
Mhm.
and there are different levels of maturity of their various organs. So you want to give children's meds to children and adult meds to adults. I think once a kid hits like 12 or 13, then they can go into the adult medication, but check with your
Mhm.
pediatrician before you make that decision.
That's true.
But the poultry products is one of the things, though, that you have on the list because everybody's talking about chicken soup.
Mhm.
Well, might be a little hard finding chickens. Well, I shouldn't say it'll be hard, but chickens are not as plentiful right now, related
Mhm.
to the avian flu and fires on a chicken farm and all this kind of thing. So you
Mhm.
might end up having to purchase those cans of chicken soup rather than making your own.
Mhm.
The other thing you want to think about is making sure that you have the fresh produce like the oranges and the lemons.
Mhm.
However, um, due to supply chain issues, there could be a disruption in your availability of oranges and lemons. So you might have to go with canned or bottled products.
Mhm. And pineapple is good also. In addition, and another fruit,
Oh,
pineapple, with the
good. And
bromine
it's
that's in
high
there.
in vitamin C too.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, I never would have thought of pineapple. And then your electrolyte solutions, you want to pick those up ahead of time because popular brands might sell out quickly. So if
Mm.
you like Pedialyte or some other particular brand, just pick up a few bottles and have them on your shelf so that when your family needs them, you've got them.
That's true.
Yeah.
Denise had I know I was a little late jumping on. Did you talk about rest?
I did not. Go ahead.
Well, you know, probably the best medicine is sleep. And is actually, if you're feeling bad, get in your good hot shower, get in your warm fuzzies, and get in the bed and rest.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you rest, you heal. And
Mm-hmm.
so, that's something that sometimes we're so busy, especially working moms who are going out of the house. All moms are working, but
Mm-hmm.
those that are leaving the house, especially, they're ripping and running and trying to keep everything going. And so, rest sometimes or the lack of, sometimes has a lot to do with why moms get sick because
Mm-hmm.
their immune system is down because they're so busy trying to keep everybody else going. But rest is a big ticket item to make sure you have the sleep that you need.
And it's funny that you say that because I was with a relative at the doctor just this very week, and he talked about the importance of rest and sleep on helping
Mhm.
the immune system do what it needs to do so that you can fight off the various infections and diseases that might be out there. So,
Mhm.
definitely, rest is something that we want to think about. Cynthia says her mom used to give them Campbell's chicken noodle soup, and that's the one I like best too, is Campbell's chicken
Me
noodle
too.
soup and hot tang. I forgot about
Oh,
tang.
I love Tang.
Yes, and I could see warm that up. That would be so cozy.
Hmm.
Okay, hot tang. That would be it. Let's see. Nita likes all the teas that I've shown. Blue Sky says if you're sick, go to urgent care, ready made, or see your doctor so you can get diagnosed early and get the meds you need as soon as possible. So definitely, if you've got something that's been hanging on more than 3 days, 3 days or more,
Mhm.
you need to seek medical attention.
That's
And if
true.
it's a little one like babies, you just do not mess around with babies. You have to get them medical treatment as soon as possible so they can get the treatment that they need to help fight off whatever it is that they've been exposed to.
That's true. Because pneumonia is also a big item that's been traveling with the flu and with the viruses that have been going around.
Mm-hmm.
And I think part of it's because, like most of us, you'll say, I just have a cold, and you keep going. And, you end up with pneumonia.
Yeah.
And so we have to kind of check ourselves.
Harris Teeter and Food Lion have sales on these teas, I guess, that I just showed.
Okay.
So Rachel says, unless your cardiologist has recommended to reduce salt, don't worry too much about it, especially when you are ill, because it can't be helpful.
Hmm.
So yeah, unless your cardiologist has recommended, don't worry about it too much. Let's see. Fire cider. Not sure what that is.
Huh.
It's good for sore throat and fermented garlic honey.
Now, my daughter makes that fermented garlic honey. She does that every fall and makes jars of it.
There's a recipe in here for that.
Hmm. And she keeps that and gives it to the kids. Of course, it
Really?
smells awful, but it does the job of keeping their immune system up.
Okay.
Now, I don't know what fire cider is.
Mm-mm. So Prince of Peace ginger honey crystals. It's ginger and honey dehydrated in packets, add hot water. Oh, okay. I
Oh,
have a honey, a turmeric, and I had some other tea in there. I just didn't bother to bring it in
hmm.
here. It's supposed to be good for that as well. And then you're telling everybody hi. Bates kale with a little olive oil. Oh, and make kale
Hmm.
chips. Oh, okay, that'll help boost the immune response, that kale.
Okay.
Let's see. Ginger and honey is great for nausea. Yes.
Sure.
When sick and under the weather, a great way to get and stay hydrated is distilled water with a few grains of Celtic salt. Raises your magnesium level. Just don't overdo it.
Okay.
Yes, zuba toscana. My husband said that's his favorite soup. And oh, somebody's making homemade ginger ale.
Wow.
Hmm. Oh, you want to talk about your adventure?
Today has been quite an adventure. We got up this morning only to find that at about 8 o'clock, the power started to blink and then went off. And we didn't get it until this evening. And so it was quite cold. Our house went from a nice toasty 72 down to 60 and
Oh.
stayed at 60 for a very long time because of the snow and ice. And in fact, we've still got a little bit of sleet falling, and
Mhm.
it's kind of a mixture of the sleet and rain. But fortunately, the children are going to get to go back to school tomorrow. They'll be 2 hours late, but they'll be in. And but it's just that, that's something that we had to really think about, because early on in our life, our married life, we always had a wood stove. And
Ah.
so when we moved into this house, we didn't have it. And so when the kids were here, we would make fires, if the power went out. And it was cold today. I could have used that wood stove, and it was an insert that went into the fireplace. So that's something to think about, because this Christmas I bought these blankets, and I kid you not, they were inexpensive, but they are the heaviest, warmest blankets that you could possibly get. And we each had one under us and one over us. And we stayed warm. We made it through the cold.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting sleet and like drizzling rain now, supposed to ice
Hmm.
over. So tomorrow everything is already closing up because it's going to be bad tomorrow. So yeah.
Hmm.
So Denise said she froze eggs a month ago. Glad she did. She just whisked them out in muffin tins, popped them out when frozen into Ziploc bags, and she's got about
Oh.
3 dozen. Will not hoard or buy anymore. You know, Denise, I talked about this yesterday and a couple days
Hmm.
ago on my channel. I froze 1 dozen. I got, well, 2 dozen. I've got another dozen in the freezer that I've got to get out of the muffin tins now. And then I'm
Hmm.
going to freeze up another one. Because, like I said, we don't want to hoard eggs, but we do want to make sure we're purchasing what we need for our families. And if we just purchase what we need, there'll be enough for everybody else. So,
That's right.
yeah. So, thanks for that reminder not
Hmm.
to hoard any. So Roberta made a bomb pasta fagioli. You make that too, don't you?
Hmm.
I was
Hmm.
going to try to make that. That's that soup with
It's
beans and
good.
in it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
It's
I'm going to try
delicious.
that. Yeah. What kind of storm did you guys have?
Snow and ice. Snow and ice. Mm.
Okay. And like I said, in my a couple of days ago on my live stream, I showed how to freeze the eggs,
Mhm.
and it was really quite easy to do.
Mhm.
Um, let's see. Take it out, put in the sauce, it'll defrost in about 20 minutes. Whip it with a fork. They're good for scrambling and they're good for
Oh.
baking, making omelets, that kind of thing. We made 2 of them yesterday and
Mhm.
Will made them easy over and they worked out just fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's that. And orange juice, Blue Sky says that it can create excessive mucus, which can be bad for asthmatics. If you
Mm.
have a child with asthma and you've been having that issue, you'll already know that.
Mhm.
So, yeah. And then airborne is good, and Zycam. I
Mm-hmm.
had something. Oh, I had the airborne, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there's the Zycam that you can get as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then carbonated drinks and can create mucus and exacerbate asthma. This is a person that
Mm-hmm.
has lots of asthma. Cabbage is loaded with vitamin C, and okay, we're gonna.
Mm.
Okay, no, let's see.
Okay.
Um, let's see. Sandra mixes orange juice and ginger ale. Okay, that could
Well, now
work.
that's a good idea.
I'm not sure what this is.
Ah, and
I don't know
herbal
what that is.
mullein. I've never heard of it. Mullein.
KW, we did talk about echinacea. I think
Mm-hmm.
one of these had echinacea in it. This one's got ashwagandha or something like that too. But yes, one of these had echinacea. But I did mention that I've got some because I took one of Kadia's at her healthy home. I took one of her herbal classes,
Mm-hmm.
and I bought some echinacea and elderberry, like the buds and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to make some stuff. So one day, you guys are going to laugh at this. So one day, my son was here, him and his family would visit, and Kadia had done this class on making tinctures. And you
Mm-hmm.
use alcohol and a few other things, and these kind of like lemon balm and some other herbs that I had grown and had. He looked in my pantry. He was like, they were in like a mason jar. He was like, "Mom, what is this?" I told him what it was. He was like, "What?" He was like, he thought I had lost my mind.
That
But
is too funny.
yeah, he was like, "What is this stuff?" But people created things to heal themselves
Mm-hmm.
before we had legitimate pharmacies and things like that. And now
Mm-hmm.
some of those, like herbal medicine, is a thing. And
Mm-hmm.
there's classes that you can take on it. Like in our particular nursing program, we did have a course that the students could take on herbal remedies because there are people that do prefer more homeopathic mechanisms.
Right.
So we do have to keep that in mind.
Now, KW is also saying that the echinacea tea cannot be is not good for someone who has an
Oh,
autoimmune disease. Um,
okay. Thank you for letting us know that. That's good to
mhm.
know. And then Tommy Bice, thank you so much for joining us, Tommy. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I had a chance to go to her channel that last week. It is so cool.
Yeah, I was checking her out the other day too. She was her husband, I guess, must have been away on one of his truck driving
Adventures.
adventures, and she was talking about having to do it all on her own. But yes,
Mhm.
everybody, say hi to Tommy. Okay. Let's see. Raw cabbage is a good source of vitamin C for children who like it. Some will eat shredded cabbage and carrots with mixed raisins. Yeah, I don't like those kind of salads, but a lot of people do.
Mhm.
Those kind of fermented kind of salads too. So,
Mhm.
oh, and then air purifiers. Sometimes people will have those things too. Air purifiers or diffusers where they
Mhm.
will put different little scents and things like that in the air. I am not one that typically likes that unless it's eucalyptics. I don't want to be smelling much because it makes me cough.
Me too. Me
So I
too.
don't have too much of that. So Tutu says flu was rampant in Atlanta a few weeks ago. Her family is healthy. They drink a lot of orange juice and cranberry juice. Okay.
Mhm.
Uh, Tommy, you know what? Jello. I don't know when I've had Jello. But yes, that's one of those sick bed foods, and they still give you that in the hospital sometimes
Mhm.
because it's nice and it just kind of slides down the throat, that kind of
Mhm.
thing. So those are things that you will want to have. I think I got a box of Jello. Let me just grab it. I think I don't remember what I bought it for.
Mm-hmm.
Because I certainly, maybe it was going to be for something to do with cranberry sauce or something like that. But you can make up a
Oh
box
yeah.
of Jello like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that's nice and soft and sweet to give your children if they've got kind of an upset tummy and you just want to give them something to nourishing but a little liquid. Now,
Mm-hmm.
there's not a lot of nourishment in Jello. I mean, think about giving them a glass of fruit water. It's
Right.
it's similar to that, but it is comforting, especially
Mm-hmm.
if you cut it up into little cubes and it kind of jiggles. So it's something
Mm-hmm.
fun for them to have. So they would like that. Yeah, we talked about. Hey, there's your buddy, Granville.
Yes, Granville. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bone
bone
broth.
broth is good to drink.
Absolutely.
Yes. Oh. So Roberta says, go to Dakota coming on reliable items, North American herbs and spices. I'm not sure what that is. Okay.
Huh.
Um, well, Mick, when they talks about bone broth better than regular broth, for example, this is just more regular broth. But when you're talking
Mm-hmm.
about bone broth, you've actually got the marrow and all those innards
Off
in
the
the bone
bone.
that actually come out and it's into the broth itself.
Mm-hmm.
Tutu says they eat cheese and grits for a hearty breakfast.
Oh yeah.
Oh, chicken and rice soup with bits of carrots and celery. That's good
Yes.
too when
Yes.
people are ill.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So everybody's got different ideas of things they like.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Tommy says she changed from Gatorade and those kind of drinks to Propel because of the salt content. That makes sense. Oh, Mickey, here's your favorite. Rachel says, don't forget potato soup. It has good nourishment, especially when throats are sore. And Mickey was just saying the other day how mom used to make potato soup for her when she was sick and how much she loved that. So, yeah, those are nice things. What you guys let us know what your mom made for you when you were sick. What was the favorite thing your mom made for you when you were sick? Mine was when she would make cream of wheat
Mm-hmm.
or she would make that rice pudding, kind of a rice cereal. Those were my
Mm-hmm.
favorite things.
You notice that most of the things that they're mentioning are things that are non-dairy,
Yes.
because the fact that you do want to stay away from milk as much as possible when you're sick with a cold, because milk has a tendency to produce more mucus. Your body has to produce that mucus. And so be careful with the dairy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And the Jolly Tea Drinker, thank you for joining me. She's in my Monday group, Leona. And
Oh,
yeah, she does. Her channel is about bedtime stories. She likes to drink tea to relax, but then also there's like adult bedtime stories, something to
okay.
listen to kind of help you relax. So you guys be sure and check out the
I have
Jolly
to
Tea
check her
Drinker.
out, the Jolly Tea Drinker.
Yes. Now, loose teas, people like those too.
Mm-hmm.
Sandra likes applesauce jello. So she was saying when she was sick, her mom gave them applesauce jello pudding, cream of wheat, oatmeal, and mashed potatoes. So everything on that list you said except for cream of wheat. And then Mickey Blue Skies was saying that our mom used to make cream of potato soup. She loves that. I guess the next time you're sick, I'll try to make that for you. Frugal Crafty Vegan is under the blanket with cold chills and headaches right now. Oh, Frugal Crafty
Oh,
Vegan, drink some warm tea or hot tea
mm-hmm.
and just you're cozying up. So get that hot tea in.
Yeah. Or even hot lemon juice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hot lemon juice or hot lemonade.
Lemonade. Mm-hmm.
JC says when her kids were little and sick and didn't know what they felt up to eating, She would use a 6-cup muffin tin and put small portions of different items in them. Cut up toast, saltines, grapes, orange pieces. Oh, what a good idea.
Aw, I
And they
bet
can
they
just kind of
enjoy
pick
that.
out what they
Mhm,
want.
mhm.
What a good idea.
That's fun.
Roberta's recommending, I don't know what that is. She must be an herbalist like Denise.
Isocilium. I've
Yeah.
seen that. Isocilium. Okay, I'm writing it down.
Yeah, I should take a picture of it, then I can look it up.
Yeah. Roberta must be a doctor or a
Or an herbalist.
pharmacist. Uh-huh. Or a pharmacist. Because she's got
Hmm.
all the technical terms.
And Kadia likes all those technical things too. So
Absolutely.
see, I mentioned milk toast
Yep.
earlier, and
Mm-hmm.
Sandra said she had milk toast when she was little. Now that's something I wouldn't eat because I don't like wet bread.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew that in the UK they would eat that, and then some places here too. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but it's supposed to be very good. Put a little butter and like a sugar in there.
Mm-hmm.
The whiskey and sugar, the little hot toddy does work.
Yes, it did
Yep. So
work.
Tommy says that's called a hot toddy. Yep.
Yep.
Rachel says whiskey equals sleep.
Then you get your
Oh,
rest.
now JC says she likes the mixed Lipton soup over the Campbell's. I've not
Oh,
tried the Lipton noodle. Is that like the dry mix and then you have to
that's
make
the
it up
dry
yourself?
mix. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Campbell's has my.
It has always been my
Yeah.
favorite.
Okay, so Michelle says pineapple juice is good for clearing mucus from your
Mhm.
chest. And then Jean is reminding everyone no honey for children under 12 months.
Okay.
Roberta says possibly not even under the age of 2, but definitely not under 12 months.
Okay.
Yep, hot toddies.
Vicky, you're right.
Oh, wait.
He
Yep,
get
not.
his sleep.
Right.
Hmm.
And yeah, Kim, they gave hot toddies all the time. We probably wouldn't do that quite so much now.
That's true.
Dad would give them a tablespoon of whiskey for a cold. Mom would bake the custard my mom used to make custard too when we were sick.
Hmm.
Yes, I haven't had custard in I don't.
Oh, I haven't either.
So Tommy, you said you need a book because you want to grow things you can use instead of medicine. Let me encourage you to check out At Her Healthy Home. She's an herbalist and this is her book. And if you look at my community tab, you'll see I've got quite a few posts of
Hmm.
promoting her this month in celebration of Black History Month. And she's an herbal educator. And so there's things on there that you can learn from her channel where you can make some things that you're talking about doing and you can grow some things that you're talking about. So do check out her channel, Her Healthy Home.
Hmm.
And then Nita B says she keeps that fermented honey and garlic on hand, but her family hates it. And you were saying your
I
daughter
can't.
makes that too. Ah, Andrea says
Yes.
pineapple has bromine, takes care of
Hmm.
mucus. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, Mickey, the Jolly Tea Drinker is in my money group.
Manuka honey. I
Okay.
don't think I've ever heard of that.
I haven't either. Okay, so let's see. Oh, if you've got an elderly person, if a temp gets to 102, they should be seen immediately. Yeah, you don't want to mess around with old people.
Mm-mm.
Um, let's see. And Tommy's agreeing, and she's big on prepping. She says we have to prepare before we're sick. This allows us to recover and also not to go out while we're shedding and spreading whatever we have. And you mentioned how when you got sick last week, how your husband had to make dinner and take care of you, and you just happened to have a rotisserie chicken in the either fridge or freezer, and he
I
could
do.
pull that out, heat it up, and make dinner without too much trouble. So those are some things you want to try to have on hand, is have something quick, either a sheet meal, but I think some soup frozen and in the freezer would be great.
Hmm.
That would be
It
something to
is.
be sure to do. um let's see. Thank you, Dolores. She says she's a caregiver and it's important to properly wash your hands. And Miss Leona mentioned earlier about how important it is that when your family comes in and you come in, first thing you want to do is wash your hands because you're bringing in germs from wherever you've been. And so
Hmm.
I've been washing my hands a lot since I've been spending a lot of time up at the hospital. What first thing I did when I got home was wash my hands, because I didn't want
Hmm.
to bring any of that in here and touch stuff. So yeah, there's that to think about. So wash your hands.
And
Uh,
this time of the year, very often I will wash dishes by hand, but from September to probably May, I'm using my dishwasher because of the fact that it has hotter water than my hands can stand. And it certainly sanitizes the dishes and the silverware very well.
mm-hmm. That's why I was so glad
Oh,
to get my
hi,
dishwasher.
Reggie, baby. Oh,
How
that's
are you
nice.
and Mr. BG doing?
I'm the big guy. We're doing well. We're doing well. We've had some ups and downs, but you know how that goes. But we're bouncing.
And look
There's
at here who's here.
Ronnie.
It's been
Hello.
a while.
Hmm.
Okay. So JC keeps bottles of Gatorade on her shelf just in case it's needed, but you'd rather have it and not need it, and she just pitches it when it expires.
Hmm. Oh, that's something too. In talking about medication, when we're buying bottles of medication, to make sure that when you go to that next season, that you check the expiration dates
Hmm.
on the medicine, just like we do our food.
Yes, Denise. She says grands are like little petri dishes.
Oh, I know.
Whatever they got, they're gonna bring it to us.
Bring it to you.
I have had some of those menthol eucalyptus bath bombs, not bath bombs, but
Mhm.
shower bombs. Somebody gave them to me, and they were so nice. They're really quite nice.
Ah, I haven't tried
Okay.
those.
Mm-mm. Let's see. Oh, we got a lot of comments. Let's see. Can't put them all up there, but Karen says the flu is there in Texas.
Mm.
And then Roberta's saying, make sure you read the fine print and know your meds before you take them. And that's one thing that Blue Skies is really good about. When she's prescribed a new medication, she will take time to research it before she takes it to see if it interacts with anything she's already on. When you have lots of allergies or on lots of meds, you absolutely have to do that. So, Roberta, you are absolutely right. You've got to do
That's
that.
true.
And let's see. Now, this is something that people don't talk much about. But Karen says she takes natural honey produced in her area for allergies. And
Mm-hmm.
that is really important because the
Hmm.
honey that's produced in your area will have the allergens that are in your area. And so when you take that, you build up a natural immunity to some of those
Hmm.
things. Honey from other areas won't have the same allergens specific to your area. So if you can get locally produced honey, it's best.
It is.
Oh, so Denise uses the neti pots after being out in the public.
Mm-hmm.
She just uses it to clean her nose, especially during COVID, and she never got it. So, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Roberta's got another good point about keeping a binder
Binder.
and a label with the various medications and things that you take. Highlight them so that like what are some of the things that you need to be aware of. So that's a great idea too.
That's true. And to also have some type of like index card that has a list of all the medications that you take, so that should you get sick, then
Mm-hmm.
whomever's caring for you knows what medications you're taking. And should they have to take you to the doctor or wherever you may have to go, then they can they can look at your medications and know exactly what they're dealing with.
Patricia, we are totally mad at you.
I saw
Mm-mm.
that.
Preserved three
Mm,
cases of strawberries received from a local food bank.
wow.
I wouldn't have thought strawberries were in season.
Me neither.
But I do have two big bags of frozen strawberries that I got from a friend who got them from a food bank. And I think I might have to
Mm,
make some strawberry jam or something like that. Oh, so Ronnie says she was spray painting some furniture. After her shower, she used a neti pot, and there was a lot of paint in her nose that came out, even though she had a mask on. Oh, I wouldn't have
wow.
thought about that. Okay, I think again we're mostly recovering the same things now. I think
Mhm.
people are just repeating things that they use to help keep their homes clean, Lysol, gloves, and those kinds of things. So I think I've covered all the things that I wanted to do. One of the things that I do want to invite you guys to check out is me and Miss Leona's 20 item capsule grocery haul. She
Mhm.
has one and I have one. So be sure and check them out because they're each just a little bit different. And then also be sure to check out my daily live streams for our February homemaking. I think though that I'm probably not going to be on live on Saturday, guys. I'm just getting tired between daily live streams and hospital visits. I'm starting to run down. So I'll be on tomorrow, but not Saturday. And I don't even know about Sunday. So we'll see. But next week we'll be over on Miss Leona's channel. She'll have
Yes.
something fabulous to share with you.
Mhm.
And we will go from there. And then sign up for her newsletter and sign up for my newsletter. And if
Mhm.
laundry is your thing, you absolutely positively hate to do laundry, sign up for my free Laundry Lab Masterclass.
Mhm.
And I can help you out with that. And Leona, unless there's something else that you have to share, I think we've pretty much covered everything.
I think we have, and I just want to remind everyone to look on my community tab. I listed several of you asked for recipe ideas. So, over about 3 days, I gave you about 30 different recipe ideas for you to be able to take a look at, and certainly maybe put away in your notebook so that you will have something to think about when you're making your menu. And just, it's nice to have. So keep that in mind.
Okay, and I just wanted to put up one more comment. And from yours truly, Natasha says the urgent cares there are already overwhelmed and asking people to come in only if home remedies and over the counter meds haven't worked. So they're
Mhm.
asking you to try to treat yourself first. And they will ask you, what have you tried when you come in? However, if it's a baby, you got a child that's like under 3 and they're running a temp, take
Mhm.
that child in for treatment because you don't want to mess around with babies and you don't want to mess around with the elderly.
That's
You know,
right.
I
That's
just
right.
realized I'm one of the elderly.
I I wasn't going to say that earlier when you were talking about the elderly. I went,
I just realized
I think that might include us.
Ladies, thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate
We're in
it.
denial.
Yes, give us a thumbs up. And we will see you next week. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Miss Leona, I'm not sure when she'll see you next, if not before next Wednesday. Leona, stay right there. And the rest of you guys, thank you for joining us. Goodbye.